For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. The House committee investigating the deadly January 6th Capitol insurrection will hear testimony from Cassidy Hutchinson today, a top aide in Donald Trump's White House. She's considered a vital witness in the investigation into the Capitol attack. The special assistant to Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, has already provided a trove of information to the committee behind closed doors. In brief excerpts of testimony revealed in court filings, Hutchinson told the committee she was in the room for White House meetings where Trump's schemes to challenge and overturn the 2020 presidential election were discussed. Committee members have described Trump as desperate to hold on to power when he fomented lies and tried to install loyalists in positions of power to carry out his plan to stay in the White House. Pacifica station KPFA will broadcast the hearing live starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time today. Mitch Jeserich will be host. Legal and legislative actions was fast and furious across the country Monday as abortion rights groups sued to stop new trigger laws and legislators prepared new abortion restrictions. The fall of Roe v. Wade has shifted the battleground over abortion to courthouses and state houses nationwide. Abortion bans are temporarily blocked in Louisiana and Utah, while a federal court in South Carolina says a law sharply restricting the procedure can take effect immediately. The decisions emerged as a battle over whether women may end pregnancies shifted from the nation's highest court to courthouses around the country Monday. After a Louisiana judge blocked enforcement of the state's abortion ban, at least one of 3 clinics said it will resume performing the procedures today. Louisiana is one of 13 states with anti-abortion laws that either took effect or will take effect following the Friday Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade. Nadia Ramlagan reports.
A district court on Monday blocked Louisiana's trigger law after the Center for Reproductive Rights argued the ban's effective date is too vague and lacks enforceability. For now, abortions in Louisiana can continue. Abortions are now illegal in 9 states. Yamelcy Rodriguez, president and CEO of Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region and Southwest Missouri, just opened up a new clinic, a 15-minute drive over the border in Illinois.
Now the projections are that in a post-Roe reality that we're living today, that facility, it's expected to see an additional 14,000 patients from the Midwest and the South.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Monday she's preparing votes to counter recent Supreme Court decisions. In a letter to her caucus, Pelosi warned the court could target same-sex relationships, marriage equality, and access to contraceptives. I'm Nadia Ramlagan for Pacifica Network and Public News Service.
Abortion rights activists also went to court to try to fend off restrictions in Texas, Idaho, Kentucky, and Mississippi, the state at the center of the Supreme Court ruling. The American Civil Liberties Union of Arizona filed an emergency motion Saturday seeking to block a 2021 law they worry could be used to halt all abortions in that state. Idaho is one of the states where a trigger law is going into effect. It bans abortions except in the case of a previously reported rape or incest, or if abortions were necessary to save a pregnant patient's life. Idaho patients are likely to flood into neighboring Washington and Oregon, where abortion remains legal. Like California, Washington, and Oregon, Nevada is an abortion rights state. It also expects an influx of pregnancy patients from out of state seeking the procedure. Meanwhile, Kentucky is set to vote in November on a constitutional amendment that would ban abortions in all cases, with no exceptions for rape, pregnancy, or to save the life of a pregnant patient. California voters will decide the opposite, whether to enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution this November. 6 states with primary elections today will provide hints on how voters are reacting to the Supreme Court's decision on abortion. In Colorado, a Republican abortion supporter is running for the state's Republican nominee for governor. Elections also take place in Illinois and Mississippi. 46 people have been found dead after being abandoned in a tractor trailer outside of San Antonio, Texas. It's the latest tragedy to claim the lives of migrants smuggled across the border from Mexico into the U.S. and one of the worst in recent years. 16 people were hospitalized, including 4 children. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said a city worker was alerted to the situation and saved their lives Monday night.
Heard a cry for help, came out to investigate, found a the trailer with the doors partially open, opened them up to take a look, and found a number of deceased individuals inside. So we have 3 people in custody. We don't know if they are absolutely connected to this or not.
The home countries of all the migrants and how long they were abandoned on the side of the road were not immediately known. Officials say some were from Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras. The case has been turned over to federal authorities. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky blasted Russia's attack on a shopping mall as an act of terrorism Monday. Missile strikes killed at least 18 people, wounded some 84, with dozens more missing.
Today's Russian strike on a shopping center in Kremenchuk is one of the most daring terrorist acts in European history. A peaceful city, an ordinary shopping center. Inside, women, children, ordinary civilians. This is not a mistaken hit by missiles. This is a calculated Russian strike at this shopping center.
Zelensky says there were about 1,000 people in the mall at the time of the attack. It's garnered widespread condemnation from the group of 7 nations that wrapped up their meeting today and from the United Nations. Russia increased a barrage of missile strikes all across Ukraine, including the capital of Kiev, that killed children as the G7 met. Ahead of the NATO meeting today, Jens Stoltenberg pledged to ramp up military presence of NATO troops. Peace groups blasted the move. The UK-based Stop the War Coalition said it's not the path to peace and will not make the world safer. I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.